Talk Show.
Recorded live.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stroke Diva Fabulous Radio Show. I am your host, Kamaria T. Richmond, and I am excited tonight about talking to our guest. You're in for a treat this evening, and I'm so happy to have on the show Mian Mohsin Zia, and I hope I got that out perfectly, but Mian is an award-winning author. He's a marketing and publishing specialist. He's also a spokesmodel, and we're going to go through all of the things that he's done. He has been endorsed from Hollywood. He has had, he's been seen all over the world with his books. He does lectures. He is into fiction, and so I'm just giving you a little snippet of that. I am going to let Mian come in and tell us all about it. So thank you for coming on the show. I was reading your bio, and it said Pakistan's new literary on that horizon. So I'm excited to hear about that. So, Mian, welcome to the show, and tell us
First of all, thank you so much, Kamaria, for having me on the show as your guest today. It's an honor for me to be on your show, and I thank you to be on your show today.
Thank you. So I want to get started before we start talking about your books. Tell us about you, because we have this Hollywood, we have the speaking engagements, you are internationally known. So tell the audience about you.
Well, actually, Kamaria, I'm an international award-winning author, spokesmodel, marketing and publishing specialist, who has been endorsed by Hollywood actors, who has been endorsed by actors from British film industry. My merchandise has been well received by American superstar as big as Forbes Riley. My merchandise is featured in an American movie, Joyce, starring Cassandra Sidonfield. The movie is in post-production. It's going to release soon. I have won international awards from the United States of America. Americans have labeled me as king of marketing. I have set new trends worldwide in novel writing and marketing. One of my books is recommended to be a Hollywood movie. One of my books is translated into Russian language. I have been featured on Getty Images as a model. I have been featured on national TV. I have been featured on international shows. I have guest lectured students at prestigious universities. So these are a few of my achievements and a very short and simple introduction.
Well, it may be short, but you have done some incredible work. So I want to start with let's talk about, because I want to get in depth about your books, but let's talk about you doing your marketing and publishing. So I know that you do branding, you're self-publishing, you work on book covers, you're doing media, books on media, you're doing a lot of trailers, voiceovers, and so kind of how did you get started, or why did you want to go into publishing and marketing?
Well, actually, it wasn't like it was something that marketing is something that comes innate to me. I was doing my master's specialization in marketing. So marketing is something that is related to my qualification. But as far as self-publishing is concerned, I got into self-publishing because when I started writing my first book, I didn't know how to actually get into the publishing process and how to get my book out there into the center and spread the word. So therefore, I'm a self-taught person when it comes to self-publishing, and that's how things started for me. And after learning the art of self-publishing and marketing is something that is my forte, so it became a very healthy combination, being an author, a marketing specialist, and a self-publishing specialist. So it became like a trio. So it was very helpful for me. And as we all know that once you learn something or once you have excelled in a particular field, in order to leverage yourself or in order to be helpful for others, you should share your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience with others, and keeping in view the hardships or the way I had to get into self-publishing. I didn't know how to get started, so I decided that maybe there are several other authors around the world who also find themselves in the same position as I found myself when I wanted to self-publish or publish my first book. Therefore, I actually initiated my services, and from there onwards, I worked on self-publishing, and I offer a wide range of services, and alhamdulillah, I have completed more than 200 projects so far, and worked with more than 50 authors from different parts of the world with an average rating of 5 stars. So that's how I actually started my self-publishing and services. Marketing was something that I was already doing. So I actually work with authors and also work with companies around the world. When it comes to authors, I help them in their self-publishing and book marketing endeavors, which includes book covers, book interiors, book trailers, book media kits, book adverts, and when it comes to companies, I help them with their marketing, branding, video commercials, spokesperson commercials, consultation, and everything. You just name it, me, I will do it. In simple words, I can say that.
And I love that on your bio. You do say, whatever you name it, Mian can do it. And I think that is wonderful. So you have this, you studied marketing, you have this wonderful background, but I wanted to ask you about branding. And to do all of that, I mean, you have your own brand, but for a lot of people, that can be really challenging. So for someone just starting, how do they begin to build their brand?
Well, the thing is, the basic thing is that you need to focus. I have always said this, and as I will repeat, winners do things that losers don't do. Focus. So you actually need to focus on 3 things. First of all, you need to focus on the process. You need to focus on the process, not on the results. If the process is right, results will come automatically. Second, you need to focus on branding, not on selling. If you brand it, you will sell it. And third, you need to focus on excellence, not on success. If you excel, success will follow on its own. So anyone who's starting it or want to make it big, I just want to let them know that please focus. That is the key. That is the bottom line. You just need to focus.
And when you're when you're starting a big project, I know that can be challenging, but what I hear is, you know what, if you focus and you just focus on the project, then whether it's money or fame or a business, all of that will come to you naturally if you have that laser focus on what it is you want.
Well, actually, that's what it comes up. The thing is that focus is not only just focus. I have defined it into, I have actually further categorized it into 3 steps. Like, first step is to focus on the process, not on the results. Because if the process is right, results will come automatically. And when I talk about process, so definitely if you're working on a project, or if you are starting your own business, or if you have written a book and now you want to get it self-published, or if you have self-published a book and then you want to get it marketed, or if you have a business or anything, the objective is to focus on the process, not on the results. If the process will be right, you will definitely achieve your goals. The results will come out in your favor. But if you just focus on the results, that what is the outcome, it won't help the cause, because you need to first focus on the process. You need to do your homework. You need to go back to the drawing board, you need to go back to the drawing room and then consider, evaluate, assess your strategy, and then decide that what your goals are and how you need to achieve them, and step by step you actually complete the process, and then you get to that point. I just in the most simplest words, I can just say that when a baby is born, parents actually first initially teach him to take little steps, and step by step they help him to start walking. And once he starts walking, only then they'll tell him, and he actually learns to run as well. So parents actually focus on the process. They don't focus on the results that, okay, has he started running or not? So that's what it means, that you need to focus on the process, not on the results, and then focus on branding, not on selling. So if you have written a book or if you have started a business, the point is that if you take yourself seriously, people will take you seriously. So the thing is that you need to brand yourself. If you brand it, you will sell it. But people actually don't do that. They don't actually consider the basics, or they don't bring into consideration the most important things, or even the most simplest of the things. At times, most simplest of the things are actually ignored, which actually lead to your failure. So the thing over here is that you need to focus on branding, not on selling. You don't need to focus on sales. Obviously, sales are always very important. Money is all monetary returns are always adds value to your work, and always have a driving adds value to your work, and is a driving force as well. But the point over here is that you need to focus on each and every single thing in order to build your let it happen for you. You need to focus on branding, not on selling only. If you brand it, you will definitely sell it. And last thing, as I said before, is to focus on excellence, not on success. The thing is that, what's your vision? With vision, people prosper. Without vision, people perish. So the thing over here is that if you focus on excellence, success will definitely follow on its own. The thing is that how you perceive things, how you want to see things. So that's how it is. So that is everything is around focus. So these are the three things, these are the three steps I've further explained for anyone who is either looking to start a business, or is looking to self-publish his or her book, or want it to be marketed, or anything. Any field of life, you need to make sure that you need to focus.
That is... I thank you for making that so nice and clear, because when you are working on a project, I would think, if you're just you're focused on the project, not on the selling and the money. But to me, that takes off the stress, because you've done your homework and you have that laser focus. And so the stress doesn't build, instead of you just going, okay, I'm in it for the money, and I'm in it for the fame and the glory. And you kind of miss that process because you want it right away. Just because you have that idea in your head, you're not always going to get it right away, because you have got to go through all those steps.
Obviously, and one more thing over here is that you need to another thing that I would like to add over here is that losers actually get tired and they quit, and they stop focusing. They just quit. But winners, they keep focusing till they make it happen for themselves or for others. So that is the difference between losers and winners. That's how I started actually, that winners do things that losers don't do. Focus. Why? Because losers, they get tired and they quit focusing, and their focus actually gets deviated. But winners, they never let that happen. They keep focusing, they keep their goals in front of them, and until they make it happen for themselves or for others, they actually keep doing it relentlessly. So it's all about focus.
Wow, I think that's absolutely true, and that you just said some eye-opening things for me there in looking at what's going forward. So let's talk about your books, and I want you to tell us about them in detail. Like, where did it come from? Because I think you like to do fiction. So where are these ideas coming from? And how are you? Well, I know you're promoting because you're doing branding and marketing and publishing. But where are those ideas coming from for the books? And I'm just really interested in knowing about them. So tell us about your work.
Kamaria, actually, the thing is that I write fiction, but I write meaningful fiction, a book that entertains but also enlightens. And that is the reason why my books actually stand out in the crowd, and why they actually help me to market them and promote them and brand them in a way that actually works with my readers as well. The relatability factor, the connection with the readers and my writing and my books and my characters is is good enough, because of the fact that they actually are not just fiction. It's not just fiction. It's not just a random fiction. It's a fiction, but it's a meaningful fiction. A book that entertains but also enlightens. So I always believe in writing a book that gives a good message, a positive message to the readers, and gives them a food for thought. And once they are done reading the book actually stays with them long after they are done reading. And I think that is the beauty of an author, that is the success of an author, that if he has written something that actually stays with the readers for a longer span of time once they are done reading, I think that is something that is considered as a success of an author. And over here, I would like to refer you, like for example, when you go to a movie, and if you watch a great movie, at times it happens that when you return home or even after a few days, those scenes from the movie, those dialogues from the movie, or the aura of the movie actually is so big that it actually stays at the back of your mind. And or even after 6 months or a year or 5 years later down the road, when you again watch that movie or randomly see a clip of that movie played on internet or on TV, those thoughts start coming back to your mind. So actually it is the aura of the movie, it's the notion that actually grabs your attention. So similarly, for authors as well, I personally believe that if you write a good book, if you write a meaningful book, be it fiction or non-fiction, obviously to make a meaningful book is more difficult as compared to non-fiction. But if you can do so, that is something that can really help you to stamp your authority or help you to stand out in the crowd. And that's what I believe in. And Alhamdulillah, I have been successful so far. I have written so far 4 books. My first book, The Strange Loyalist, inspired by true events. When I was studying at university, I started writing my first book at that point of time. It's a story of a student. It's a story about teacher-student relationship, about the educational setup, and it has a positive message. And just to spice it up, a murder was added to the storyline to make it more engaging for readers. And it's inspired by true events. Those people, places, and events do exist, and it's a book that actually is related to like most of the students would connect to the storyline, would connect to the plot, and would definitely relate themselves to the characters of the storyline. After The Strange Loyalist, I wrote my second book, Once. Ask Me Anything Not Love. Once is actually a love story, and it is also recommended to be a Hollywood movie. And Once is also translated into Russian language. And Once was the finalist in the Reader's Favorite International Book Award contest held in the United States of America in 2013. And let me tell you, this was the same award that Hollywood superstar Jim Carrey won for his book. So it's that's the stature of the of this award contest that I just mentioned about. So Once is the love story. It has custom poems, and I have set new trends worldwide in novel writing, because in my books actually I love to give my readers a movie kind of an experience. Like for example, let me tell you how I don't come up with a random picture. I actually represent the character of the book about whom you're reading. So it's a male protagonist and a female protagonist. So you actually get to see the characters about whom you're reading. So apart from that, like in movies you have custom songs. Similarly, in my movies you have custom poetry, according tailor-made to the situation, reflective of the character's feelings, and there are important scenes depicted in the form of pictures. So all these things actually make it a package, and people are more inclined to buy packages nowadays. So that even helps me to further brand myself and my books. So Once was my second book. After Once, I wrote Victim of Shame, Why Me God. over here again the relatability factor comes into play, that every human being, be it from any part of the world, we always experience success and failures in our life, and once we we go through hardships, or we experience failures, we always question God, that why me, God? So I think that is a question that is actually something that every person would relate to, and that is the tagline of the storyline. It's actually a thriller, and it's a thriller, and again, the protagonists are depicted on the cover of the book, and the male protagonist and the female protagonist. The models actually have worked with me, and I choose my models, be it from any part of the world, but I want the right person, the right character, right person to represent the character about whom I've scripted. So once people read it, they can feel that yes, this is the person who can be who's best suited to represent this character. So it has lots of work, lots of thought process put into the book. A lot of thought process is put into the characters as well, that what their look should be, how they look like, and what should be their wardrobe, pardon, and every single thing. So Victim of Shame also had custom poetry reflective of the character's feelings. And then after Victim of Shame, I wrote Wrinkles, a true love story. Wrinkles is a slice of life true love story, a feel-good book, and it has custom. It also has poems and reflective of the character's feelings. It also talks about the value of a mother and significance of her role within a family. So it's again a book that people love, and anyone who loves or believes in true love would definitely love Wrinkles. And I feel deeply humble and deeply moved to see the kind response that Wrinkles has received so far internationally. And Alhamdulillah, Wrinkles won Reader's Favorite International Book Award contest held in the United States of America in 2016. So these things actually motivates you and encourages you to work to get better day by day and come up with something new, something that is actually that's something that people would relate to. That is the most important thing, that something you write something that people can relate to. It discusses about their issues, it discusses about their experiences, it discusses about their journey. So I think once you do that, you can actually come up with a product that can really create an impact. And I believe that a good author is someone who actually observes others, and then after his observation, he actually tries to translate his observation and translate his observation into his writing. And I believe that that is something that I always try to focus. I always believe in one thing, that no matter whatever level you reach in life, getting better never stops. And nowadays, I'm working on the 5th international project. It's my upcoming project is titled as Missing, and the subtitle is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People. Missing actually again brings into discussion several things from our society. But it's a thriller. It's an out-and-out thriller set into 4 different countries. It's a story of two ordinary people in extraordinary relation, and it also talks about bullying. It talks about several other things as well. It's not, as I said, I just don't write fiction, I write meaningful fiction. So it also, my books are like a Hollywood movie, but they also give a deep message, and it also and there is always several things discussed in the book. So that's what I'm currently working on, and Missing has so far received exceptional response as far as the teaser trailer of Missing is concerned. The branding of Missing has been done. Several American actors, they actually received merchandise for Wrinkles, and several American actors right now currently received branded Missing t-shirts. and they also did some videos with their missing T-shirts with their name on the T-shirt. So that's how the marketing is also going on for Missing, as a book is scheduled to release worldwide, inshallah, in 2018. Unfortunately, the book was delayed. Initially, it was scheduled to release worldwide in 2017, but due to unforeseen reasons, the book was delayed. But I'm pretty much optimistic and pretty much hopeful that it will come out in 2018, inshallah.
Wow. You said a couple of, well, actually, you said a lot of very interesting things. And so, I'm hearing that, there's nothing like curling up with a good book, and you're doing work with a purpose. So you want the reader to have that lasting image of that character and of that story. And when you have that lasting image, it's something that you're going to want to tell your friends about, your coworkers, people that you meet on the street. You're always going to want to share that because you've connected and you have that feeling. So writing with a purpose, I think, is so important, because if you don't have that, you just don't want to read something just to read it. You want something, like you said, it's like a movie. You're going to see it. Like with a book, I want to be able to see it visually in my head and kind of, and walk through it or read it that way.
You're absolutely right. And in this regard, I can just say that some of the greatest movies in the history, if you just try to think about them, those great movies are not just based upon entertainment. Those great movies also have something here and there, something extra in that movie that actually makes it a complete package, a complete entertaining package. Obviously, the objective is to entertain people, be it a book, be it a movie. Why people read books? Because they want to learn something new. They want to increase their level of intellect. So obviously, the book should have some sort of intellect. That is the main objective why people read books. They read books because they want to explore something new. They want to increase their level of intellect. They want to become more wiser, more intelligent. They want to enhance their wisdom. So I think that is why people read books. They want to improve their vision. And even the best of the best actors, if you read about their interviews, if you listen to them, they always tell that they read. They read because reading actually helps them to even improve their acting skills as well, because they visualize things. So when you are writing, obviously entertainment is the key. The bottom line is to entertain people. But having said that, you write meaningful fiction or even non-fiction. You write it with a purpose. You write it with an objective. You write it with some goals. And you actually, when you add things into it, you bring into discussion several other things, but knitted so well that it looks like it flows naturally. That makes it a good product. But when you don't work on the loopholes of your script, or when you don't work on the loopholes of your manuscript, things just seems as if you have just like added things without unnecessarily, and that actually becomes a headache for readers at the end of the day when you do that. So the thing is that you actually do things when you make sure that everything is aligned, everything is put together, and everything is very well connected. And when that happens, it actually automatically produces a good product.
I think you're absolutely right, because we all want that connection. Like you want to learn something new, something that you can take with you to use in your own life. And so, I wanted to ask you, when you were young, growing up, did you see yourself becoming this award-winning author, or just writing, really connecting with people all around the globe?
Well, actually, I always believe in one thing, that when you're destined to achieve something, you do achieve it. So, writing was never something that I actually thought about, or I actually ever thought that I would become an author, or then become an international award-winning author and achieve all these steps one by one. It wasn't that way. As I said before, I always believe in one thing, that when you are destined to achieve something, you do achieve it. Yes, you do have a vision, and the objective was always that whatever I do with commitment, with dedication. I give my best and a focus. So I think that is the key, that is the objective, that if you take yourself seriously, people will take you seriously. I just give you a simple example. There are millions of authors, even in the United States of America. You might find an author next door, but the point is that how many get noticed, how many get appreciated, how many get praised, how many get acknowledged? Not many. And how many actually make it big? Not many. Why? Because only those who focus, who actually have a vision, they actually make it big. And that is the reason. That is what you need to do in life. Be it writing, be it acting, be it singing, be it anything, be it any field in your life. Whatever you do it with commitment, with dedication, and honesty, and with honesty. And if you take yourself seriously, people will take you seriously. So you just need to make sure that you focus. And if you focus on the process, results will come automatically. You brand yourself, you will sell it automatically. You focus on excellence, success will follow on its own. So it's all about focus and taking things seriously. And over here, I can just add another example, that it's all that you need to understand the dynamics of the industry. You need to understand the formula. The formula is very simple, right? How can you differentiate knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge is, tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is, you don't put it in a fruit salad. So the formula is very simple, very clear. It's all up to you, that how well you grasp it and how well you implement it.
Wow, you have just giving me so many little hairs of have just shown up, because you're really given us a wealth of knowledge. But the thing that you said was key that I really appreciate is you can be successful. You can be successful, but you have to be observant. You have to pay attention. You have to focus, and you have to do it with a purpose to connect with others. So if you want that state of excellence, you have to take it seriously. And when you take it seriously, others take it seriously. And I love that. I think that's like a good quote that I'm going to use, because I think that that's like half the challenge is making sure that you're dedicated and others see that. And people are out and they want to help you succeed, because they know that you've put 100% into what you're doing. And I don't want to hold you too long. Let's just enjoyed our conversation so much. But tell us how folks can connect with you. But what's next? I mean, you have the books, you have the TV. Besides that, what else is going on in Mian's world?
Well, actually, I'm also a spokesmodel, and I offer my spokesperson video commercials, and I offer them to several brands all across the globe. And currently, I'm in discussion with a couple of international brands, or you may say so, non-profit organizations, with whom I'm in discussion to be as a spokesmodel for their non-profit organization. So let's see how the future unfolds, and hope things come out well. So the thing is that I'm offering my spokesperson services to companies worldwide, and this is also an addition to my list of services, and I'm pretty much confident and pretty much optimistic as well that it will go well.
Oh, I can tell you that everything is going well because everything is working. Everything is working to your highest and greatest good because not only are you you're doing stuff for yourself, but you're doing it for other people. You're doing it so that everything reaches out into the world, and we need more goodness and light and more excellence and focus on the planet because now we feel like we're going in so many different directions. But if we have someone there to help us along the way, like you, then I think that makes a really big difference. And so, Mian, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, people can check out my website. It's www.mianmohsinzia.com. You can also check out my official YouTube channel. It's dailymotion.com/mianmohsinzia. You can check out me on Instagram. You can check out me on LinkedIn. So people can reach out to me quite easily. The best thing is just visit my website. I repeat, it's www.mianmohsinzia.com. And you can just contact me anytime.
Yeah, so if we put you in Google, you just pop up all over on a global scale.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think the most easiest thing is just Google me, YouTube me, Daily Motion me, and just write Mian Mohsin Zia, and you'll find me on Google as well.
Right. I'm sure they can. So thank you, Mian. I'm so happy and thankful that you joined the call tonight. I've really appreciated the conversation, and you're just a wealth of knowledge, and it's great having you on as a guest because you take us from A to Z with a lot of richness and a lot of detail. So I really appreciate that. So I want you to hang on for a second. I'm going to end the call, but I want you to hang on. Thank you, guest 3, for saying that we had a great show. And thank you for Lady EC, I think, for logging in.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kamaria. The pleasure is mine, and I really thank you for having me on your show, and I wish you good luck and much success in your endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So everyone, tune in to the Stroke Diva Fabulous radio show at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Monday. As I mentioned, Talk Shoe is live and recorded. In about 15 minutes, it will upload. So I ask you and invite you to share the show with your network and to get in touch with Mian. Definitely go on Amazon and check out his books, and definitely check out the website. And so thank you for tuning in. It's been a great show. I appreciate it. And everyone has a fabulous Monday evening, but also have a fabulous week.